I've always thought the Lotus Esprit had a great look to it. And as a teenager in 1977, when the James Bond movie The Spy Who Loved Me came out, and they made an Esprit into a submarine, I was hooked. When I got this casting recently, even though it's beat to hell, you can see it's kind of squished. I knew I wanted to make this look as much as that Bond Esprit as I could. And naturally, there's a lot of photos online of it, and I'm sure you all remember it from the movie, how cool it was. And according to sources online, Elon Musk currently owns this Esprit, the real one, which is kind of cool. It just kind of adds to the coolness factor of it, I guess. So I set to work trying to convert this thing over as much as possible to the real one. And those online photos really do come in handy, as you'll see later. But got it apart. The posts are really small. The front ones are really short. I ended up using the 172 screws on this. I end up drilling it and tapping it. But the glass, well, the plastic panels, sub-panels, not really glass, I guess, were all in pretty good shape, a little squished. The casting itself was the biggest victim of being squished. But the 172, drill bit here and put, I did tap even the front posts. And I ended up cutting the shortest 172 screws I have pretty much in half lengthwise. But they do bite, so it worked. So off camera, I do press this thing as best as possible, very delicately hammering it back into shape as best I can. I got it pretty close. I'm really happy with where I have it. It's not as good as a perfect casting, but pretty darn close. So I clean it up, file off some of the flashing, and I left the ridges on the sides because I thought I'd go over them with a black paint to draw the side panel, whatever you want to call it, molding. I end up changing my mind on that later, so I wish I had filed those off, but that's neither here nor there, as you'll see in the end result. But I end up cleaning it all off. There were some rough areas, like under the side fins and stuff. But, some filing, some sandpaper, some more filing, some buffing wheels, wire wheels, you name it. After all of that, I kind of got it cleaned up. Then I started looking at it, and one of the challenges was going to be the fins on the back. And this is really probably the only thing I wish I had done differently on the build. But I thought, well, to get those fins, I didn't want to try resin printing them because I thought they'd be very fragile, very thin and fragile. And those fins are in an area where, I guess the best way to put it is, I knew I would hit them and snap one. So to avoid that frustration, I decided to use square styrene tubing. And so I used the chopper here to cut some pieces all to the same length that I wanted. And I think I mentioned a long time ago that I had this tool way back when. I mean, when I was in my 20s or so, and I was building models and doing scratch building stuff. And Lord knows where this went over the years, but I ended up buying another one, and they'd still make them. So there you see what I have in mind. I'm going to mount those under that rear fin type of thing they put on there. It's too bad they didn't put the fins on under that back bumper panel thing. They could have. But I mean, they kept this a very simple casting. So I cut these squares to length. And then what I'm planning to do is just chop one of the sides off, leaving me basically a U shape. And then I'll glue those under that back and they'll be the fins. And I go through somewhat of an ordeal doing these. So I cut, and I definitely cut extras because, I really wasn't sure how this was going to go. The added advantage was knowing this was going to be black. So in a weird way, I figured, well, even if it isn't great, it will kind of disappear in a way. So it's kind of the luxury of having it be black back there. Unfortunately, I do end up, after I put these on, and you'll see here in a second, here I'm using the cutter again. And the cutter is really handy for very small stuff like this. So there I'm cutting one side of the square off to give me the U shape. Again, I don't recall how much this cutter was. I know it was a lot cheaper when I had it before. I think it was around $20 if I remember right. I've had this for a little while now, probably a couple years or so. And it's handy to have. It's one of those things that you don't use often, but when you do use it, you really appreciate that you have it. And this chopper comes in a lot more handy for me than a similar piece of equipment called the duplicutter that allows you to cut very similar pieces of styrene if you need to. This one is just a really handy kind of thing. And you can't see it here, what it's cutting with. There's a razor blade mounted on this arm. And very simply, it appears to be an aluminum arm. And, before I go any further, and the blade is just screwed onto that. There you see the resin-printed propellers I did, and these little U-shaped fins I'm going to install. There was one online file for the propeller that I found, and one of the cool things about resin printing that I found by mistake was if you place things close enough to each other, they just kind of all fuse together when they print. So I just had 4 of them fused together. So that piece worked out really well. Those blades are so insanely fragile on that print. It isn't funny. I printed 3 of those, broke one of them badly, and was very careful with the other 2, and I ended up using one. There were guns sticking out at the back of this sub. I'm not quite sure why they were there, but it wasn't something I wanted. So I ended up taking some nippers here. I cut off as much of those guns sticking out as I can. And then I file that flat because I'm just putting a license plate back there. And the pictures that I have of the Bond sub have the license plate on it, taillights and everything. I didn't see anything with the guns. And I didn't want the guns to be there anyway. I really like the look of the license plate back there. And I thought it would look good against the color of the other area back there. So there was kind of like a periscope feature on the top. I just took a piece of styrene to recreate that and then sanded the heck out of one end of it to make it taper down. That piece does pop up through the top of the roof of the car on the actual submarine, or the the actual Bond Esprit Submarine. So that was pretty easy to recreate. I didn't want to sand it smooth into place because it wasn't. There you see how I CA glued those in place. I end up sanding the back edge to get it to look more flush. I sand the other direction so that the blades are more even. They do have a taper to them that I like, but I wanted them to all have the same taper. And then I do off camera end up filing those blades thinner because I still just wasn't happy with the thickness of them. This is I mentioned earlier, a regret I have on this build. The one regret I have is that looking back on it, I wish I would have made these out of tin, something more thin. Never occurred to me at the time. So there you see, again, the 4 propellers. I'm mounting those on the removable base rather than on the back of the car because of where they fall. I didn't really have an option to securely mount them under the back of the car. So mounting them on the base, and that metal, in case you're curious why I'm doing that gluing on top of it, I needed the top edge of the propeller blades to be even with the top edge of the base. So I used that to slide these propeller blades into place against the CA glue I've put on the back bumper. The reason I did this on metal is because once that CA glue cures, and I did use accelerator on it, but once it cures, then I can easily just pop that off the metal. The CA glue won't adhere to that. It's a slick piece of metal, and I just push it a little and it pops off. So it was a nice surface to do that on. I do use the Krylon Specialty Lacquer White on this build. Once all the decals are on and everything, I use the Worth Clear. Got on Adobe Illustrator, busted out some decals, working from some wonderful photos that are online. Unfortunately, this is basically the only thing I have of decal application, is this picture of the top of the car. You don't get to see all of the decals I put on, but you will here in a minute. I did, fortunately, record the application of the license plate to the front of the car, which was on the base of the casting. This, again, is the plastic base. The propeller blades are at the other end of this. This is the front bumper that we're looking at. And I put the license plate on here. There was a lot of decal application on this. On the body itself, there's a lot of stripes. I used the stripes even on the back vertical fins or rudders or whatever they are on the back of the car to give me the nice crisp lines. And then I painted up against those to fill in the rest of the back. So here I'm just now filling in the back of the car with black. The decals, you see the decals on the side fins at this point. Again, the back rudders that are sticking up, I use the decals to give me the crisp vertical lines. And then I just paint the back edges and top edge and bottom edge up to those decals. If that makes sense. You'll see, I think once you see it a little better, it'll make more sense. And I'm painting the fins that I mentioned before black. You see the tail lights and the license plate decal that are back there on already. Even the front black area of the periscope is a square decal. The door latches are very prominent on the actual car itself, and so those I used a decal for as well. Here you see after I've installed the propellers and painted that all black. It's a semi-gloss black that I used on the base here. Those propellers are really cool. I was really glad they printed well. I did strip the remaining chrome that was on the wheels off. I sprayed those wheels also with the semi-gloss black because I just want them to disappear. And they had some chrome on the wheels originally, which I'm sure they just used their standard wheels, but it seemed kind of silly to me as to why you'd want those wheels to be visible. This thing's in full sub mode, which if you remember the movie, it was already in the water when things retract. So here you have it. I'm putting it together at this point. I'm putting the glass in at this point. But there you see, it's been clear coated. And now I'm just dropping the glass in. While I clean the glass very well, I did not gauzy the glass. I did not want a high shine to the glass. And so I used a resin pin. There was a hole in the top of the roof section of the glass, which came in really handy for me to just hit it with the resin pin just to tack it in place. It's not like it needed a lot to really hold it. So now it's just a matter of putting it together. I did not try to put the actual Esprit wording on it. There's on the rear, behind the side windows, and on the front center hood, on the actual vehicle, the word Esprit appears, but it's small and it's outlines of the letters. It's like a line art word. And when you print that at 1/64th scale, it's basically a smudge. So rather than putting smudges on the car, I decided to omit those. After these screws were installed off camera, I do touch them up with a little black paint to make them disappear. And that's basically it. And even though this is a sub, it is a roller as well. So here you see where we began. A squished Corgi Juniors 007 Lotus Esprit. And if I had this to do over again, the two things I would probably do is, one, I would try to get a less squished casting. I think I recovered from that pretty well, actually. But I get one that's less squished, and I do those fins on the back in tin or something like that. But and I definitely got rid of the 007 decal on the hood. But there you see how it was. Here's how it ended up. Now the black molding on the sides is actually a decal. And that's what I was mentioning before. Had I been thinking and known that I was going to get rid of, or that I wasn't going to use a marker or paint of some kind to do that side molding, and it needs that side molding to look like the original, I would have just sanded the casting where the molding is in the casting itself. I would have just sanded that smooth, which would have made the application of the decal a little bit easier. But all in all, I think it turned out okay. So there you have it. I hope you like the Spy Who Loved Me, James Bond Lotus Esprit Submarine. There's some glamour shots, and anyhow, hope you like it. I'm pretty darn happy with it. Thanks for watching this video. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.